That's it.
Gorgeous. Now, Michel, we're going to have a sip of wine.
Yes.
We've been working very hard. Now, this wine is made by a friend of both of us. You've known them for many years. They're new friends of mine. I know them for about a year, and they're Claude and Inge Violet. They have an extraordinary farm winery in Langley in the beautiful Fraser Valley. It's the first one of its kind on the lower mainland of British Columbia, and I think it's going to go great with the onion pie. It's going to go great with the dish that we're going to do, and we'll tell you about that when we come back. But I just want to briefly, we did a piece on Claude and Inge Violet at the winery. Let's go take a look at that day's visit, okay? And in the meantime, we're going to sip on this.
Thank you.
This is great. We're aloft over the Fraser Valley. This is Langley, actually, and over there are the vineyards of my new friends, Claude and Inge Violet, and they're of course French. They moved to British Columbia 10 years ago, planted these vines, just opened the first farm winery here in the Fraser Valley, and I wanted you to see what the area looks like, where these grapes are grown and the wine is made. This is one example. This is a Bacchus, and it's absolutely extraordinary. This is my friend here. No, that isn't a problem with our technical equipment. That's actually the flame that keep us aloft, and this is Steve Pennock of Fantasy Balloon Charters. Steve, thanks for bringing us up here to take a bird's eye view, as it were, of the valley.
My pleasure, Gary.
And behind me, we have a plane and the vineyards. There are some extraordinary vines grown here. There are Alsatian, Germanic, French grapes, varietals. There's Madeleine Sylvaner, Madeleine Angevine. There's some Chardonnay. There's some Bacchus, the Bacchus I'm drinking right now. And anyway, we're going to float about for a while until we can find a decent place to land. Then we'll descend and have a chance to talk to Claude and Inge Violet about their new farm winery and their approach to winemaking. And let's do that right now, as soon as we can find a place to land.
Hello, Gary. We
Hi.
are really pleased that you come to us in our vineyard, especially as it's a wonderful time, the autumn.
A beautiful, beautiful October day. It's not a cloud in the sky. And as I mentioned before, up in the balloon, we're in the Fraser Valley. Claude and Inge, thank you for having me out here. This is great. Look at this.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
3, I think it's enough.
Now, this wine, this is the Sylvaner?
That's a Madeleine Sylvaner.
Madeleine
yes.
Sylvaner.
Madeleine Sylvaner.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Madeleine Sylvaner was found by Monsieur Moreau in France in 1846. And he found another wine too, which is a Madeleine Angevine. And the Madeleine Angevine is a very special plant because it is one of the rare, I think it's one of the only one who is only feminine.
I've had that wine. I like it very much.
Thank you.
Because it's probably all feminine, so maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But he's doing a good wine anyway.
It's a lovely wine. And they're kind of similar too.
They are a little bit similar. It's Madeleine Sylvaner has a tendency to be a little bit similar to the Sylvaner, but it doesn't have exactly the same taste. and especially here because we don't have the same ground and the same climate and in France, etc.
So we mentioned those two varietals, and there's also the Bacchus, which I had up in the balloon.
And it's also the Bacchus. The Bacchus is a German variety. It's made with a cross from 3 vinifera, which is Müller-Thurgau, Sylvaner, and Riesling. And the finishing here, I made the finishing not as sweet as the German. The German, they do that in the Moselle Valley, and it's much sweeter. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to say that the German are making bad wine.
No. It's just, you know, making wine is like a chef. It's like cooking. It's a very personal thing, and it's your own approach, your own your own personal taste, and how you want to vin the wine. Now this is the Bacchus, and I love the label and your crest here. Now, is this your family crest, or what
no,
is this?
not exactly. That it's Catalan, where the region of France which I'm coming, that British Columbia, and that they are the 2 lions of Munich, as my wife, she is from Bavarian.
Inge is from Bavaria?
Yeah.
And so this represents the 2 of you and where you are now, and what you're doing, which brings me to another good question. This is the first farm winery in the Fraser Valley. Most of the grape growing regions in British Columbia are in the Okanagan, probably 95 or more %. Why the Fraser Valley?
Fraser Valley, because when I arrived in 1980 here, the price of the land in the Okanagan was very, very high. And an old gentleman here called John Harper had 5 acres of wine in Cloverdale. Right. And I went to see him, and I realized that the plants, they were healthy and growing very well. And with his help, I found, after some months of looking around,
it's good to have friends like that.
Yeah, a place, and I bought it, and you could see then the grapes are growing very
26
well.
acres, and they just look fantastic. And I should mention too, now we have these blue nets, which we saw from the balloon, and I didn't mention anything about the nets at the time, but there are these blue nets over most of the vines. Now, why are they here?
Against the birds, especially the robins and the starlings. And if we don't put these nets, we don't have any crop. It's terrible. Especially
right at this time of year in October, the grapes, you're just ready to harvest, they're just loaded, they're sweet, they're just gorgeous. We've been eating them.
Yeah, I love the birds, but I prefer to keep the grapes for me. You know?
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean the birds love the grapes because the grapes are just so gorgeous right now. You're just ready to harvest, and you have to protect them. Yeah. So that's why the blue nets.
Exactly, yes.
And to accompany these wines, and I guess it's kind of representative of your background as well. We have some marvelous foods here, which we're going to tuck into any minute now because I'm starving. Now, Inge, why don't you tell me what we have here?
Gary, I prepared you the ratatouille, which is coming from the south of France. It's really very, very typical for the region where Claude is coming from.
There's red peppers and onions and
garlic.
Eggplant
And garlic inside.
And garlic. And oil, little olive oil.
Olive oil, yes, of course. And then here I have crepe. Crepe, it's a kind of a pancake, but much thinner.
Right, a thin pancake, but then you have layers and layers of things here.
With salad, with ham, and with tomatoes.
Oh, that's great.
And that's very, very nice. You're going to see.
And some roasted little onions.
Yes, they are really
guys,
very, very well roasted, and so they have a little bit sugary taste.
Fantastic.
It's really very, very nice.
Well, listen, we're going to... Can we eat now? We're going to eat now. And we have to get back to the studio anyway and do some cooking with your wines and with Michel Jacob from Le Crocodile. So I want to thank you very much, Claude and Inge, for having me out at your winery, Domaine de Chaberton, in a beautiful October day in the middle of your vineyard. What a way to have a picnic and enjoy your wines and see it sparkle in the sun. And well, listen, hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming.
Let's this is a farm winery. These people sell the wines from their location. So give them a call. It's Domaine de Chaberton. They're in Langley. Come out, talk to the people that make the wines, taste the wines, and it's really impressive. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and enjoy the wines.
Thank you very much. Back to Vancouver.